Outlaw, Macho, Drive-In.
Why in 2020? I don't think like anyone would have like looked at this match again. It was like Walter versus someone. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. Mhm.
Walter is definitely the new Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Pete Dunne was the guy that okay, let's just say this. NXT was back to having crowds. Now, NXT's audience, at least back in the day, they were aware of, Ring of Honor, Impact, etc. Because anytime like guys like Kevin Steen would hop over, they'd get a huge pop, right?
Yeah.
So that's awesome. But say like Amir Jordan, for example, he's now headed to NXT. If Amir Jordan debuted in the Performance Center with fans in attendance, he necessarily wouldn't get a huge pop. I think the only person in NXT UK that would bring that pop right now is basically Walter, and before him was Pete Dunne. Mainly for that is because Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate had their match on TakeOver that got all the eyes on it, and Walter is doing the same thing.
But it's also Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Like I think anyone of the founding five of NXT UK would get some sort of a pop.
Well,
but
I do too, because Trent Seven actually, him and Tyler Bate actually held the NXT tag titles, so they have an NXT lineage already.
Yeah, and because these guys were on NXT when NXT UK didn't have a show, there was just a title.
Yes, exactly.
And I don't like. That's the problem. It's I don't think, for example, I think Ilya Dragunov might get a pop because people have seen highlights of him. People have seen him versus Balor, and once everyone started raving about the Walter match, a lot of people checked it out. So they all
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I can't think of anyone else. Maybe Joe Coffey, but Joe Coffey is like. Joe Coffey is an NXT UK purist or an indie wrestling diehard that's gonna recognize it.
Yeah.
I
do think that one smart way to get like a certain guy over in the States, say for example, if travel restrictions weren't a thing, they had a kid defend the title, just a one-off. If he just defended the Heritage title at the next takeover against somebody, just as a showcase, to be like, here's what the Heritage title is, and then he's back in UK, is just a one-off or in NXT, that would make people realize, oh, there's a different rule set in a one set division in UK. So for people listening who don't watch UK, not every match is the same, but they do have Heritage rules in certain in the Heritage division where it's round wrestling. But that would also get a kid over with people, like if they stuck a kid in the ring with like Pete Dunne, let's say, at like a takeover, would be like, holy shit, this a kid, he's great, and this title rules are pretty cool, but definitely rules that won't appeal to the masses.
I would honestly, if you're doing it as a special showcase, I think it would be A-Kid versus Noam Dar.
And in the States try to take over.
Yeah, because I think
I would be cool with that
if
too.
Noam Dar being seconded by Shah Samuels, it would. I think that would actually give you the feeling of like. How it should be, because I think honestly, since I saw Noam Dar versus Tyler Bate, I think they should have seconds in every British rules match because it completely changed the dynamic. It made it took me out of like just a sporting contest and it put me right in the heart of a boxing movie.
Yes. And when it comes to that Pure Rules tournament that they had a few months ago, that was like September through November, and and pretty much every single match that they had for that title, for that tournament, was great. And going into it, we just thought it was just a trophy they were going to win. We didn't know the person was actually going to be defending it.
Yeah, we didn't know it's going to be a title. Yeah.
And I'm glad it is. It brings something different. Like Ring of Honor has the pure division, and NXT UK has the heritage division. It's cool to have a division where the rules are just slightly different.
Yeah, I honestly like it. And Joe, you might like this. Like if for example, after this thing, because the Heritage Cup catches on in the States, and they want a few of the NXT Classic superstars to challenge for it. One or two. If Johnny Gargano does not have the North American title by then, I could completely see him going after that title, not winning it per se.
Good too.
But
I could too. Like I think it'd be awesome if I would actually have him win the Cruiserweight title first. Then after he's done being the Grand Slam in NXT,
he'd be sort of the belt collector.
He wants to go overseas, and he wants to win a title in NXT UK. And the first one he sets his mind that would be the Heritage. I think that would be awesome. I think that would be a really great match.
Yeah.
Or maybe the next takeover. Oh, sorry.
Or the next takeover.
Maybe at the next takeover, if they I just thought popped. If they do like a champion v champion, so they could have Kushida. That'd be pretty sweet.
It would be.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
That could work.
Yeah.
And I would say if Johnny Gargano goes after the title, I would have them go through all 6 rounds with a 1-to-1 thing. One fall apiece. And then
stretch it out.
Stretch it out. I think like what happens, I'm not clear on this. If all 6 rounds are through and they're tied, do they announce a winner as by judges, or is it just a draw?
Sounded like it was through judges in the tournament.
Yeah, I think it was judges, and there has to be a winner. So like if they go like if they tie, and then the judges declare a kid the winner, and that would send Gargano off the deep end, and he would just go after the title even harder.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of ways to cross over NXT UK with NXT Classic if you want to grow the audience, but the problem is I think the main problem is UK is targeted towards exclusively the UK audience. If someone else watches it, great, but it's just we want those BT Sports fans and the UK guys that want to see their people on TV. Like I would, for example, instead of just a single promo on NXT, I would put that promo like 3 or 4 times during the show, and at least have one of the announcers have the announcers preview it, like say that on this week there's going to be like this big match between so and so.
Yes.
Hell, 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Put the pre-match vignette on NXT.
That's one thing I didn't. I loved Stand and Deliver. I thought it was a great 2 nights. But that's one thing that irked me was during Walter versus Ciampa, never brought up. And I would have. I've told you guys this. I would have done a video package for that match with Rampage, where he was talking about how whoever wins this, even though it was pre-taped, obviously the match.
Yeah.
But it's like whoever wins this tomorrow, on NXT UK has to go through me. I don't care if it's Tommaso Ciampa. I don't care if it's Walter.
Yeah.
They didn't once mention that whoever wins this next day has to face Rampage. Granted, Walter versus Rampage was already taped, but still, it's one of those situations.
If in a chronological order, Rampage versus Walter happened after.
Exactly. They easily just could have it would have given Rampage 30 seconds of screen time, and people would have been like, who is this? And say if it would have been like MVS, and he would have been posting about it. Of course, it would have been the 3 of us who would have been like, oh, Rampage, check out his match with Joe Coffey. Which, by the way, for people listening, go check out his match with Joe Coffey. It was a great match. It was a hard-hitting contest. So go check that out also. But that's what they should have done, was given Rampage a 30-second video spot, or at least even had the commentators, especially like Wade Barrett, just be like, so whoever wins this, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Tomorrow you're facing Rampage, and so you might lose that tomorrow night.
Yeah, they certainly didn't keep kayfabe alive.
I mean, like, there could have been a whole lot of things, like, but Wade Barrett specifically would have said, like, after the win, like, well, congratulations to Walter. Now he has to get on a plane back to the UK and defend the title with less than, I don't know, like 14 hours to go?
Yes, yeah.
Something like that.
It was about 8 o'clock. I think his match was probably about 8 o'clock that night. And then about 2:30 the next day. So about 15 hours, 16 hours.
Yeah.
Something like that, but still within a 24-hour period.
Yeah, so it's so you could have had like this whole story of like, Walter is not at 100%. He's jet lagged. He was in a war with Ciampa. Which, granted, I guess since they had the commenter already taped, they couldn't have they couldn't have done it because who knows? Maybe they didn't plan to put this on preload until the last minute.
Yeah.
They certainly didn't lay it out very well, did they, in terms of how they gave it us?
They didn't lay it out in terms of storyline, but it was still nice having NXT UK as part of WrestleMania week.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that was the whole idea was like, what, this show is us just throwing our shot. We're part of this craziest wrestling week of the year, and we have a special thing for you all.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on the Outlaw Mucho Drive-In. If you like that video, please click like and subscribe to our channel for more content from the Drive-In. For full episodes of our podcast, you may look us up on Anchor, Spotify, or wherever your favorite podcasts are available. Just search for Outlaw Mucho Drive-In. And if it's not too much trouble, would you help us out here? Spread the word, share. We would really appreciate it. Thank you. We love you. Bye.